Hi, this is David Lockretz with FindMyMusicTeacher.com. I'm going to talk about an exercise called diatonic interval patterns, and I realize that's quite a mouthful, so I just call them DIPs for short. Basically what they are is they're a new way of playing the scales. So instead of starting at your bottom note and working your way up one note at a time, you're going to skip around a little bit. Instead of just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're going to go 1 up to 3, back to 2, up to 4, 3, 5, and so forth. And I'm going to show you a few different ways that you can do this. These are good exercises to do whatever instrument you're playing. Obviously I have my guitar with me today, but you can also do them on piano, sax, even vocally. And they're good because they're going to often be more challenging than the regular scales, and they'll help you develop new melodic ideas, which if you're, say, doing jazz improvisation can be really handy. All right, just to go over a couple of the terms here, diatonic means within a scale. So like, for example, when we're dealing with the C major scale, all the notes in the C major scale are diatonic to the key of C major. And as you know from my previous video, an interval is the distance between two notes. So basically this is just my way of saying jumping back and forth from different notes within the scale. I'll show you an example of it. What I'm going to do in this first one is I'm going to do diatonic thirds. Some of them, by the way, are going to be major and some of them are going to be minor. It all depends on where I am in the scale. So here's the first one. I go from 1 to 3, 2, 4, and so forth. There you go. So that's when I go with thirds. The next one I'm going to do are fourths, where I go from the first up to the fourth note of the scale. And that sounds like this. By the way, if that sounds at all familiar, it's because in The Music Man, they have a scene where they're doing an exercise that's almost exactly like that, and they actually set words to it. It's pretty creative. And that scene was actually also referenced in an episode of The Family Guy. So it just goes to show that you actually can use this stuff in real life, folks. Okay, here's what happens when we do the same exercise with fifths. And as you can tell, it gets a little more challenging when you get into the bigger intervals because we tend not to use them as much in day-to-day playing. And also, they usually are more technically challenging. Like, for example, on the guitar, you have to jump across strings. On a wind instrument, you may have to shift registers. On a piano, you're going to have to make bigger stretches from the keys. So as you get into the fifths and now the sixth, which I'm about to show you, it becomes even more of a challenge. So here are the sixths. And so forth. That'll be the last one that I talk today. You get the idea. And think of it as really the tip of the iceberg because you can also do these same patterns with minor scales. You can do them in 2 octaves, even 3 octaves if you're feeling adventurous. You can do them in 7th, even 9ths. Really, you can have a blast with it. Just, keep in mind that the goal is to increase your versatility, your dexterity, give you new melodic ideas, reinvent how you practice, and if those aren't noble goals, I don't know what it is. This is David Lockretz. I appreciate you watching. As always, feel free to email me if you have any feedback, david@findmymusicteacher.com, and have fun with those intervals, my friends.